welcoming to the stage, once more, Philip the Punisher Collins.
Thank you. I'm surprised you guys didn't cheer again. But that doesn't matter. I'm Philip the Punisher Collins, and this is another fucking comedy special. And thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed my first story. I realized I fucked up somewhere in that story. Not telling the story, but something I said. Anyways, don't worry about that. This is another story. And I'm going to tell you right now, from this point, it's probably going to be a subject of multiple stories. Not this one in general, but I'm saying I'm probably going to have part 1 of this and part 2, part 3, it's going to be like a Saw sequel. But this one is about online friends. And when I started playing video games, I wasn't an online person. I thought online people were trolls. I thought they ruined the game. Whatever. Then they came out with Friday the 13th, the game. And that changed everything because it was only multiplayer. So, and first of all, before I go any further, I'm a cheap gamer, and this is one of the most expensive games. Now you can get the game for $10-$20. But when I got it, it was $40. I got it about a month after it came out because it had a whole bunch of bugs. Now the game still has a whole bunch of fucking bugs, but that's not the point of the story. So I started playing online with Friday the 13th. Got pretty good at the game. I had people who hated playing with me. And then I started playing this other game called Dead by Daylight. And I met some other people. And I got some people that I classify as family now. I got, like, my friend Kaylee, Ethan, Steven, Amber, and Sage. Now, before any of you other people who might be play with me online, don't get pissed off because I didn't say your name. It's not because I don't classify as family or not, nothing like that. But these are the people I talk to on a regular basis. Sending a streak or something on Snapchat if that's the case, or liking a picture or anything like that doesn't to me classify as talking. And I don't mean no disrespect by that. I just mean, hey, we don't talk on a regular basis. Even if I'm just sending, like with Amber, I send her on Snapchat, I send her a story of, I go on Daily Mail, look at either a story that's fucked up, funny, and I send it to her, and we talk a little bit about it. Maybe not much, maybe just a line, maybe just an emoji, but we talk about it. And Sage, recently, has become a close person to me because we sit there and just talk about life. We talk, we watch wrestling, we play wrestling, what online friends are kind of about. But here is kind of where my story is kind of going to take place. It's weird, going for somebody who didn't play online to playing online and see the impact that online friends could have on you. And like I said, I have these people that I feel like it's like family. But it's weird because it's like, damn, I know what these motherfuckers look like. But I let them into my life. I tell them my life stories and all that. Stuff that I don't even tell other people. And you just trust them. That's the weird part. But then there's some people who you count as family and they disappear. I had this one guy. This is where pretty much my story is going to take place because I feel like this is the first story I need to tell about online friends and who you need to trust and what you need to watch out for. I had this online friend named Cozy. I ain't going to tell you the whole name because I ain't trying to have people write him and talk shit to him unless you know him personally. And then, if you want to talk shit about him from what I say, it's on you guys. I ain't trying to tell you to do that. But anyways, guy named Cozy. Met him through Friday the 13th. I had this friend named Faith. Her name was like Emotional Sloth or something like that at the time that I met her. She changed it since then. Whatever. And we were this whole group. We had a group of like 7, 8 people, maybe more. There was a guy named Zoo. There was a guy named what was it? I can't remember. Zoo's friend. I can't remember. This guy named Ivor Roshi, I think, who was close friend of mine at the time. Some shit's happened since then. I'll address that kind of in this video too. Well, I should have known something was wrong with Cozy, because there was that Faith girl. She was talking about how people aren't honest to her. Okay, whatever. I understand where she's coming from. So talking to these people after a while, you get to know them, and you're like, shit, this is like online dating in a way. And that's not what my story is about, but it's setting up where I'm going to go. I didn't want her to think that I was lying to her like all these other people. So I told her, hey, I kind of like you, but not like I like you like you. I like you, I like talking to you more than everybody else. She took it the wrong way. I just want to let her know, like, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. And she told me that she liked this Cozy guy. Whatever. I mean, I was pissed off at him at the time because I'm like, you like somebody else. I'm like, man, this is a fucking love triangle. And all because this guy could play Titanic, My Heart Will Go On the piano. Whatever. I mean, I guess Titanic is a weakness for some girls. Not Leonardo DiCaprio, though, because he died. Spoiler. Anyways, so this Cozy guy jumps on Faith's bandwagon, and everybody blocks me. And guess what happens? This Faith girl turns on everybody else. Well, besides this one other girl named Woke. And then Tyler comes back. Well, Tyler put something on his Xbox page, and I wrote him saying, hey, I hope you're doing all right, whatever. Like a little pussy I was back then, a few years ago. Anyways, he told me he was sorry, whatever. He told me I can go say, fuck yourself. But I said, no, I'm better than that. First of all, let me tell you, go fuck yourself. Let me get that out of the way. Anyways, some time goes by, and me and this guy, Aroshi, pretty much just make this group for ourselves. We had the Zoo guy, but he was acting really childish, and he did some fucked up shit after he left. And that'll be another video probably of fucked up shit that people has done. Well, anyways, this Cozy guy, me and him's talking, and me and him was pretty much like brothers. He had a problem, he came to me, and we would talk. Well, this Woke girl started attacking him. So in his defense, because he pretty much spineless, let me just put that out there right now, wouldn't say anything back. He would talk a big game like, oh, fuck that bitch and all that. But guess what? When it came to saying fuck that bitch, nowhere, he would just block him. Which, hey, that's a higher road. But at the same time, don't be saying you gotta say fuck this bitch and then you don't even say shit. Anyways, he got this girlfriend off of Xbox just because she looked good on her picture. Guess what, guys? She turned out to be crazy like a motherfucker. She was on fentanyl and shit. And he came and told me all this because he's known I'm not saying I've experienced life, but I know about the drug world a little bit. I'm not saying what part I know or anything like that, but I was involved in it back in the day. And I told him, hey, if she's doing that shit and you put your, somebody in that order won't stop unless they want to stop. And I told him that, and he kept on like, why won't she stop for me? Blah, blah, blah. I go, dude, she just met you like 3 weeks ago. Of course she's not going to stop for you because what does she owe you? But guess what? She wanted to live with him because I'm going to tell you this quick story. They were having phone sex, and he told me this. This is how close we were. He told me that they had phone sex. And she was like, dudes tell me I got the softest lips about a pussy lips, in case you didn't get that. And I thought it was hilarious that he told me that. So anytime that me and him was getting talking about some shit, I would end up throwing, "Do you have the softest lips?" Well, like brothers, we would fight constantly, and it was over stupid shit, just like playing games. You know, like we were playing Dead by Daylight, and he could have saved me or whatnot. But he was like, "No, I'm getting the fuck out of here." So he wasn't really a team player. Whatever. But we would make up as being friends a couple days later, maybe a week, whatnot. Once we both cooled down, and it was always over stupid shit. It wasn't over. Well, I classify stupid shit. I was very blunt with him when he would come to me and ask for advice, because I told him, I go, "Hey, don't be coming for me to ask for advice if you don't want the truth." But he would still come to me and ask for advice and all that. And one time he was like, "I'm done talking to you, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Hey, you're going to have to reap what you sow. You know, that's what way you want." Not even a week goes by. And he goes, "I'm regretting this. I'm sorry. Please come back," pretty much. That's pretty much what he said. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And this happened a few times more than it should have. But, you know, I saw something in him. Being a friend, I'm like, you know, I see a bit of me in him. I didn't want him to go down that road that I've been down. So I gave him a little advice, and always in one ear and out the other for this motherfucker. Well, once Maddie broke his heart, he was just hating on women. And my friend Amber, Amber can be in a crabby mood sometimes, or maybe she's just not listening. And Tyler was like telling me, "Man, I feel like, you know, I just want to leave the group because I feel like they never listen to me. Nick's always in his la-di-da-di, drinking, whatever." I have no problem with drinking unless you're a certain person and you can't handle your liquor. Nick was all right, but he at Dead by Daylight, he would become chicken when he was drunk. Whatever, it's a game. But Amber was in a certain mood. Not saying like she was in a bad mood or nothing like that. But a certain night, she angrily pissed off Tyler. And once Amber left, Tyler was like, first of all, let me set up, Amber has a kid. And Tyler told me, verbatim, and some people who watch this might be like, "Oh, he probably just telling lies or whatnot." 100% true. All these stories are 100% true. He told me. I don't know if this makes me a bad person, but honestly, I don't give a fuck about Amber's kid. And Amber, last year I was going through a tough time, and Amber was there. She checked on me once or twice a week, make sure I was all right, make sure I was still alive. You know, she would write me and ask, and you know, made me feel good as a person. And I will always have loyalty to Amber because of that. And Cozy was the same way. He was there for me, and that's why when he kind of backstabbed me, it kind of took me off by surprise, because I'm like, dude, I call you my brother. Even when all this shit went down, I told him, like, yeah, I'm pissed off at you, but even if we don't talk again, I love you like a brother. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I was trying to be respectful. I found out he was talking shit about me, so that didn't set her good in my gut. And yes, I wrote him, telling him I'm gonna bring this whole fucking thing crashing around him and all that. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, man, this is some third grade bullshit. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm just gonna move on. And that's kind of where the comedy thing, I'm like, I'm not getting off my chest. But back to Cozy saying he didn't give a fuck about Amber's child. So it was me, Cozy, and Nick in the party. And Nick got quiet. Nick even left the group for a little bit. But I sit there and told him, I go, Tyler. Well, his name's Tyler. Sorry. But Cozy, I know you're going through some shit right now. I know some girls has broken your heart. and you just want to lash out at the girls, I go, maybe that's what you're doing right now. But let me tell you, Amber is one of the best friends I have. So she'll have your back as long as you have hers too. And I just sat there and just like, kind of like, I'm not or nothing like that. But I got really upset about what he said.
And the reason I'm telling this story is once I got kicked out of the group. I don't say I got kicked out of the group. I left because of Nick was talking to this person I didn't like. And that sounds childish, I know. But let me tell you what she said to me. My grandma passed away a couple years ago. And she said, I'm glad your grandma's dead. She probably died because you're just a junkie son or grandson and all this bullshit. And she's probably dead because you probably killed her. So, of course, I don't like her for what she said. And I felt Nick was choosing her side. Or, at least blast her about it. I didn't care, like I left the group so they could hang out more because I didn't want him to feel like, oh, well, if I'm around, he can't hang out with her. That's why I originally left the group. And Tyler was supposed to be the segue to get me back in the group and me and him talking and all that. And then Tyler did what he did. But then I found out Tyler, Nick, and Amber is all hanging out now. Whatever, if they're happy, they're happy. But I just found it weird that Tyler was like, oh, fuck this group. He would talk shit. When it was just me and him, he would talk shit about people. And it made me realize online friends are just as fucked up as having real friends in real life who would stab you in the back. Only thing is, you can't go over there and punch them in the face. So the moral of this story is be careful of who you make as an online friend, because you never know when they're going to stab you in the back. But don't be afraid to make online friends, because let me tell you, they could be there, because you don't owe anything to these people. They don't know you. You just sit there talking, just swapping stories pretty much. But you can tell stories to them that you can't even tell your friends in real life. Just because you feel like they would look at you differently and they delete you or block you, whatever. It is what it is. But it gets stuff off your chest. Just in this instance, I got burned. Like what's going on around my head. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the story of online friends. Anyways, check me out at the Oddity Critics for my next video. My next joke or story. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate all that. And thank you. And you know what I always say. Stay classy.